gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER. I'm 𝕭𝖆𝖚𝖚𝖙𝖆🐐, and today we have in the studio.
Hi, I'm Nolan.
And I'm Beautiful Disaster.
And listen, we're going to talk about some really cool stuff. You're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy. That's right, gaming, cosplay. We're talking about it, everything geek culture and geek media. And I'd like to give a shout out to Sound Shark for this futuristic, really cool microphone here. So, today on GEEKCASTER, we're going to talk about the creative process and what kind of mind creates certain things from our understanding, our perspective. And we're going to talk about some flops of puppet and animated shows and some wins. The first thing I want to talk about and bring to the table is Happy. Happy is a show, came out, what was that, 2017?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2017. Who we have going on there? We got the cast over there. What do we got? We got Christopher Maloney, who plays Nick Sachs. Patton Oswalt playing Happy, the actual little donkey unicorn.
I think it's a unicorn.
Unicorn?
I think he was supposed to be a unicorn.
Think so, right? And then you got Medina Singjor. I hope I'm saying that right. Probably not. Amanda Henson. And then you have Bryce Lorenzo, which plays Haley Henson. So, okay. Happy. Happy is about, what can you say that's about? It's a little girl gets kidnapped. She has an imaginary friend, and the imaginary friend runs to find the little girl's father, and he magically is able to see the imaginary friend, and they're on a mission to get the daughter, save the daughter. I think that's pretty much
Pretty
it.
much sums it up. Mm-hmm.
But it was so weird.
I was about to say that description didn't make me,
You
Wanna
know,
jump up and watch it.
yeah.
I mean, you got the mob, you got you got all these interesting characters. Richie Coster plays a really good mafioso guy. I like the character. I like that he's quirky, he's evil, but yet something is missing. Something is missing. And you guys didn't see this yet, did you?
No.
Nope. Did not catch my eye.
Yeah. Well, what was it about it? You said you don't even want to
That
watch.
exact description.
I'm waiting for the happy.
That
Like,
is-
it's like,
Where's the happiness?
where's the happy? I guess that's the point of naming it that, but
Yeah.
it just seems like it brings you down a little bit.
It just sounds weird and
It looked interesting, though. I mean, how they shot
Interesting
everything
from the way
and
of-
the trailer.
it's
but
weird.
I mean,
It's very weird.
Yeah.
The animation is good.
Mm-hmm.
It was created by Grant Morrison and Brian Taylor. And Brian Taylor did a couple double duty things there because he also is directing some of the episodes, and I don't know. Let me show some pictures just in case if you guys have no idea what we're talking about. Again, it looks great. It definitely brings you back to a Roger Rabbit kind of feel.
Yeah, but it
I
looks
can
so
see that.
gritty for that animated character.
And do you know this was a comic book?
I did not know that.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, so...
It just
all
seems
right.
like it's a buzzkill. It's I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of shows you're into.
Right.
And that's not the kind of show I'm kind of.
Now, you guys did see Roger Rabbit.
Of course.
Yes.
Classic. Let's go to something that didn't turn out too well. Let's go in the classic television. Unhappily Ever After.
I remember that.
What was...
I remember the opening.
Why did... I mean, they had a couple seasons, didn't they?
They did. I think it went up to 5 or even maybe 6 seasons.
I honestly
It
don't
was out for a while. It just reminds me so much of Married with Children.
The set is the same.
It's the same.
It's the
same
same
show.
setup. It's
Yeah.
the same.
Now look at it. Now here are the pictures of Married with Children. Same kind of vibe. I mean, the setup. Here's a little miniature of the setup there. But yeah, I mean, even the promos, everything looked like that. Oh, by the way, random. They had toys. They actually had Married with Children action
Did they
figures.
really?
Yeah.
That's
So weird.
scary.
That's weird.
That's a weird route for them to take in the merchandising.
Now that little was it a dog?
Yeah.
It was a
And-
puppet dog, right?
And I think it was a bunny.
It was a bunny.
Yeah, and Unhappily Ever After.
It was an animal puppet.
Yeah, his name was Floppy
Oh,
for
that's
the
probably
ears.
funny.
So yeah, it's probably a bunny rabbit or something.
You know what's interesting? It reminds me of Ted a little bit.
Oh no.
The banter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of does.
That was a precursor of Ted.
Maybe he smoked cigarettes, drank alcohol, cursed. You know, it was pretty gritty for. Well, not even really for back then, because they did stuff like that back then all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you really didn't need.
It's gritty for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's switch to something else there that was around. Another old school that maybe paved the way for some of the newer stuff. Alf.
Do you remember Alf?
No. What is that? Did I just miss
She
that?
said, "What is that?"
Who is that? What is that? Is that an anteater?
It was he an alien or something? I think he was an alien they discovered.
What is
And
this?
an alien that crashed in
landed
a
or something.
family's
Is that
garage.
a movie?
Yes, it was a TV show.
What?
It was a series. Yes.
On what? The CW?
Actually, no, it's interesting. They're thinking about rebooting Alf.
Are
But
they
what
really?
is he?
He's an alien. They found him and he came.
I feel
to the
like I
house
missed
and-
out on something in my life.
Yeah,
he
came-
crash landed, and they just took him on as a pet.
Yeah.
As a pet.
Well, not as a pet, but as like their friend.
Oh.
Their friend. sorry.
Almost like
Like American Dad?
yes, I was about to say American Dad. Almost like American
Oh
Dad.
wow.
Yeah. Because that's what happened in American
Rogers.
Dad,
Rogers?
too.
McFarlane,
He just lived
you got me
upstairs.
again.
Yep.
McFarlane, you guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He moved right in the house. He basically had the same thing with him smoking cigarettes and doing all
Oh,
kinds
okay.
of stuff.
You know,
Just like that.
there's an Australian series where a guy turns into a dog. No. His dog turns into a person, but only he sees the dog as a person. Did you see that?
No.
No.
And they actually, the guy, what's his name? Wood. That's in Lord of the Rings. Elijah Wood.
Oh, okay.
Elijah Wood actually did the reboot of that series. You guys should check that out. In fact, check it out and leave a comment if you know what I'm talking about. But that series, I'm surprised that didn't do too well. Because
I didn't hear
the
it.
premise is interesting.
This is the first time I've heard of
Yeah.
either of these.
So maybe that's why I didn't do well. Maybe they didn't do enough
Yeah.
promotion for it because never even heard of it.
And again, I bring these up because these are interesting pitches, interesting stories, where some sort of puppet or animation, why aren't they winning? And as a puppeteer and someone that likes animation, I'm curious to see, what was it about these that didn't catch on, in your opinion?
Promotion, probably.
Mm.
That's usually what it is that makes or breaks the show. Like, to get people to watch it
Mm-hmm.
is promotion. Like, how many people know about it?
Like even the Deadpool movies that came out, like the first one, saw everywhere advertisements. That Christmas one, I just found out they had another movie.
They had another movie.
They had one for like a Christmas special of Deadpool that
Right.
released, and I'm like, I didn't even hear of it. I didn't see it anywhere on TV. No
In
advertisements.
theaters?
In
Oh.
theaters.
Oh, no.
Everyone's like, did you
my
see
gosh.
Deadpool? I'm like, what Deadpool movie? They had a Deadpool movie? It's like, yeah, it was a Christmas special.
What?
Did you see it? Like, did you
No,
see it?
I heard about it.
I heard about it after.
I thought it was a joke. I didn't realize it
It was a joke too. Because I saw the little promo, but I'm like, is this a movie?
They have the money to
or-
promo, so I don't know why they didn't promo, but...
I don't know. I didn't see it. Nothing. I was in the movie
Well,
theater and
now
saw an
I
ad,
know
and I'm
about
like,
it.
oh, they really did come out with a movie.
Wait.
That's weird.
Here's another classic, Harry and the Hendersons.
I remember that one too.
I actually remember that one.
And it was
Finally.
bad. this was really bad. How did they get John Lithgow to do this movie?
I have no idea.
He
Was
probably-
They
it,
must have paid him so much.
He probably
was it a
just
movie or a
liked
TV
it.
show? It was a movie?
Why would this man do this TV show?
He probably liked the premise or something and was like, "Hey, can I sign for this?"
And
Did
how
it
do you
resolve?
have a series with a whole series? The best thing is the baby.
Not the mama.
What is? What is that?
Dinosaurs.
What is he holding?
Probably a frying pan. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But it's like,
That reminds me of the Flintstones.
Yeah, definitely.
now I was rooting for this. What happened, guys? Did anybody see this movie?
Nope,
No.
I didn't watch it.
I mean, maybe the premise wasn't different enough, because there's tons of movies that had the whole, hey, we're partners, we're gonna fight, we don't get along, we're forced to have to work on a thing together, and
Rush Hour.
yeah. The only difference is, hey guys, it's a puppet. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. What happened to Roger Rabbit? What happened to the magic? We just don't believe in magic anymore?
So this is related, and please excuse the pun. I saw Disney on Broadway last week. Frozen the musical.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
They did have a puppet.
Oh.
They had a puppeteer working Olaf, and it was actually amazing and well done.
Mm.
So puppets aren't completely out of the water.
They're not out of the
Yeah,
water.
no, they're still there.
I still have a job.
Yes, yes, you do.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, you know, interesting minds create interesting things. Now, even when it comes to music, it's been said that you have to go through hardship and pain to write a really good song or a really good love song, or go through a lot. Would you agree with that within music or even other aspects of multimedia?
You can go first. I'm very opinionated.
I agree to some degree with it. I don't think it's required for you to have to experience certain things, but I feel like from personal experiences, I've been way more creative coming out of slums where I'm motivated to kind of get things done, and I want to accomplish certain things, and I have a very strong focal point on the way up. So I think it all depends on the individual, though. I think people tend to take things differently and can react and handle things differently. So it all depends.
I don't think it's necessary. I think the difference is that people who have gone through hardship have a better understanding of how people work and how life is for them. So they're able to channel that into their content because they have a better understanding. But I don't think it's like a case where it's like, oh, you have to be miserable to create.
Miserable is a strong word.
Miserable is a generalization.
Yeah. Well,
You know, miserable, upset, distressed.
right. Well, I think that artists look at things different. Well, first of all, there's a separation, in my view, between entertainers and artists. There's a bunch of people that take media or perform or lip sync or have
Put them all together.
team of writers and they do something.
Yes.
Shots fired. Versus someone that actually creates. You have to look at things differently.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a slab of clay, you know, and you say, hey, I'm going to make that into a sculpture. I see a swan and I'm going to change that around. It takes a specific mindset to do that.
Yeah.
Which some people might think would be being a little bit off. And I find that like when you're, and at least I can say personally from when you're down or depressed or whatever you're going through, you tend to be a lot more sensitive and can manipulate sound and images in a total different way than someone that's like, woohoo, everything is great. So, that's what I think.
I disagree.
I agree.
Why so?
Why do you agree? So I can disagree with both of you.
So she can slam dunk.
Well, it just means
Big Kobe.
in time, in history. I mean, look at some of the greatest minds and some of the greatest artists that you've seen. They've all had some tragic stories. Well, not all, but a lot of them had some
issues.
tragic issues, or
Look at Picasso.
Yes.
He was terrible to women.
Yes.
Terrible.
You're
He had
really selling your case here.
serious issues.
Yes, and have created some of the most beautiful things. So
I still disagree. That's like a big stigma that I've seen, like, as like working in like different creative fields throughout my life. Like that stigma is really like the unhealthy one. I'm not saying you guys are unhealthy.
Right,
Definitely not, because you're both creators. But that's the stigma I've seen where people are like, oh, look at these classical artists. They created gorgeous things and they had tragic lives. They could have probably created even more gorgeous things if they didn't have to deal with that tragedy constantly.
It's interesting you say that because I have some artwork right here. No, I'm just kidding. No, would it be then, through a different way of looking at it, they had all this tragedy and they turned something beautiful out of it rather than, because it is unhealthy. I've heard people say, no, you have to go through this, like, oh no, you need to go through a breakup so you can write a song.
Yeah,
like,
and I realize you guys aren't saying exactly that. I do realize that. I'm just saying, like, that's where that stigma comes from. That's why I disagree.
And there are some people that buy into that. And I feel
There's a lot of people that buy into it.
Sad for them. It's like, I'm going to cut off my pinky because I want to make a film. Like, no.
Okay, that's a whole different issue.
I think it's more like an outlet to relieve certain things.
Yeah.
Like when you come home and you stress about something. Like I paint a lot of times when I'm stressed, and I draw because it's a little bit more relaxing. So a lot of times you can create things when you're in that moment of time when you want to have an outlet to release what you're going through. So
it also depends on like what the person's issues are. Because usually a stigma is directed towards people that have like mental health issues.
Right.
And that's what a lot of the classical artists, that people that are making like the bad version of this comment are talking about. They're talking about like, oh, people with mental health issues, they're lucky, they can create stuff. That's usually like the generalized version of like what I see when I'm like browsing around on YouTube and stuff and artist channels. Lost my train of thought for a second. But there's like, it's just, I don't know how to say anything other than like it's bad, because that's like being like, oh, you need to be unhealthy in order to create beautiful work. Those people that have unhealthy lives, like they'd probably be happier and creating better stuff if they were treated better, rather than like being like, oh, it's good that you have issues, you know?
Right.
Am I making sense with my disagreement?
Yeah.
But it's not a total disagreement. I think we're with you.
It's kind of like that song. I don't know if you guys ever heard "Underwear Goes in the Outside of the Pants."
No.
Do you ever hear that song?
Sounds like a good song.
In the song, he basically states that, like, he used Bill Gates as an example. He said if he didn't spend time shoved into lockers and being isolated all that time, he just gave an example, of like, I guess, a stereotypical nerd type situation, that he wouldn't have been like, I'm going to take over the world with computers.
Well, also like oppression brings understanding for your fellow man. So there's other ways to look at it, but from a creative standpoint, you shouldn't need
from a nuclear modulator standpoint.
Oh boy. You shouldn't need to suffer just to like create something that you want to create.
Oh man.
Because a lot of times, like, the attitude is directed towards people that, like, do art for a living.
Right.
And, that gets in the way of your living,
It can
know?
and it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that affects productivity.
Right. Yeah, because you want to focus. You want to be in that bubble of creative juices all the time.
And, like...
You don't want to eat food.
Yeah, and, like, feeling bad, that cuts that off. That, like, removes, like, hours of productivity, and then you're like, oh, no, I could have been more productive.
Yeah.
And then...
Eating and showering and...
Okay,
Gets in the way.
I wasn't saying self-care gets in the way. Definitely shower. It's good for you.
You know,
Brush your teeth.
gotta make that moolah so you can fund your passion.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or take away the money from people like... No, let me stop. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. We're a friendly, happy show. So, with all that being said, are there any shows that bombed that you really wish made it? That stayed on a couple more seasons to...
Oh my gosh. When was it? This was like 6 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
6 or 7 years ago. Disney XD had a show called Motor City. You ever heard of it?
I kind of remember something like that.
It was about Detroit.
Mm.
It was a dystopian society where one guy had control, and then there was the rebel group called the Burners that lived in the underground.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the basis. I won't say anything else because it's a long plot, but it was like very well done. Like it's one of those kid shows where it's like more like today's kid shows where it's not really specifically targeted towards young kids. Yeah, but that one got canceled. Was forced to end basically before like they got through all of the plot they wanted to get through.
That sucks when it ends before you finish.
The fate of cartoons on TV.
Oh man, anything that you miss out on Disney?
Emerald City. Did you guys see Emerald City? I don't think anyone else watched it. I would try to.
But also, I'm the wrong person to ask. Clearly, I missed like half the shows we talked about so far.
Emerald City was like a redo of Wizard of
Oz.
Oz. Yes,
was
but it was done in the modern
TV
time.
show version,
the
not
TV
the movie
show.
version.
Correct.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
amazing.
And Dorothy was Spanish.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Her parents didn't speak English. It was great.
Yeah,
the way
that
they kinda
bombed
did it.
for
They
some
made it-
reason. It was well done too.
Yeah, I thought it was well. You watched it? Awesome. Yeah. And when
It's
into
been so long. I didn't.
when it went into Oz, the witches were just totally different.
Yeah.
They were
Good different.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
I forgot which witch it was. West. She was kind of promiscuous.
Yeah.
Like you saw, she had a cavern of men, and she ran like a brothel.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, what the heck is going on? She had all the women working for her. And
It was good.
It was
It was
just
good.
a twisted way they did it. Glinda was evil.
Yeah.
She was the ice queen, kind of. She was isolated. You know, she was the evil witch out of the sisters. When you would think one was bad, the other was good.
It was like an even further version of Wicked.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Yeah, think of it that way.
Yes.
And as a TV show with less singing.
I want to see this now.
And Dorothy was a little bit
Weird.
Yeah, she was weird.
She was like a little bit off.
She was a cop. No, she wasn't a cop.
No, she was
She was a nurse.
Yeah.
Yes, and the Toto was actually the German Shepherd dog of the cop. So it was it's a German Shepherd
instead of like a little
dog.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch it. I don't remember enough from it.
And I love the way they killed. Was it South the witch?
Yeah.
I love the way that. I mean, it was bad to see her go.
It was bad,
but the way
well
they
done.
did it, it was so well done.
Yeah.
And this was on what station?
Was it Channel 7? Was it ABC?
Yeah, it was ABC.
What?
Yeah, because when they had the sex scene, I was just like, whoa. The way the intro kind of started with her introduction to the show.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, why is this on Channel 7? It's going to look like I'm watching something I ain't supposed to at a fast forward certain parts. So.
Wow.
Yeah, but I thought it was well done, and I kind of wanted to see where they were going with it.
That's one thing I like to
Definitely
rewatch.
check out a trailer.
I'm definitely gonna do that now.
Even though it's over. But more than less.
Do you usually watch trailers for shows before you watch them, or do you just try them for like movies or shows or anything? Because I'm the type to avoid trailers.
I always watch trailers.
You always watch trailers?
Yeah, I just get a generalization of what I'm, expecting here.
Sometimes I like to avoid them. I don't know. Just like avoid them and then watch them after to
Well, I
see
guess
like
if
how
you-
far it's spoiled the.
I guess if you've already made a decision that you're going to watch that series.
Yeah.
'Cause a lot of times
Yeah.
I'm still, is it worth kind of...
Yeah, if I'm undecided, I'll watch the trailer. But if
Yeah.
it's something I know that I'm interested in and I'm gonna get into, I won't watch the trailer.
Because I'm a binge watcher, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like one of those I have to wait for the series to kind of be done.
And then watch the whole thing.
And then watch the whole thing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the same thing.
What about you, Michael? Do you have anything that you wish?
That wish. The cartoon Sky Commanders.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
That's like my thing.
Exactly.
That's my thing today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't remember what I've watched in my life.
Exactly.
Oh man.
And the fact that probably nobody knows what I'm talking about is why.
But they have a toy series. Is this from the 80s? Is it from the 80s?
Oh, actually, that's actually the wrong show. Actually,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's Visionaries.
That is a completely different word.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah.
What is it about?
It's basically about Knights in the Round Table.
I'm already interested. Why
But-
haven't I heard about this?
But the difference is, in fact, I've seen some anime and other movies do this. They basically have a shield in front, and like a beast would come out. Like, so they would turn into whatever
Like Power
was on their
Rangers?
plate. So like if you had a jaguar on your outfit, your shield or your breastplate or whatever,
You're a jaguar.
you would turn into a jaguar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was pretty cool. And I actually have the toys.
Like this for some reason that made me think of Captain Planet. Do you remember that show?
You know?
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
You know what? I recommend that. I grew up on that. It was good.
Captain Planet?
Captain Planet was good. I used to watch that before school every day.
And on that note, give everybody your social media.
I'm Nolan. You can find me at Rock and Gills anywhere.
Cool.
And I am Beautiful Disaster, and you can find me at Beautiful Diz.
Cool. And I'm Michael 𝕭𝖊𝖆𝖚𝖙𝖚, and I'm pressing a whole bunch of buttons, trying to do everything all the time. But yeah, you can get me on Instagram on Michael 𝕭𝖊𝖆𝖚𝖙𝖊𝖗. And of course, you're watching GEEKCASTER, and here's all our stuff. Yeah. So I don't have to say it. GeekCaster.com, GeekCaster on Instagram, GeekCaster Show on Facebook, and an email, geekcaster@geekcaster.com, and our YouTube is Sonic Eclectic. Any words of wisdom before we go, ladies?
Rewatch everything you ever watched in your childhood. It'll make you feel great.
Yeah, and check out the classics, right?
Yeah. Like Captain Planet,
And Heckle and Jekyll.
Jekyll and Hyde.
No, Heckle and Jekyll.
And also you should rewatch Jekyll and Hyde.
What about Reboot? Remember Reboot?
No.
Remember that?
I don't look, my thing is now that I don't watch anything apparently.
That's it, Diz? That's
it, yeah.
That's it?
Unless you want me to go into Reboot.
Yeah, what is reboot?
What is reboot?
What is reboot?
Oh my god, it was a show, I don't know for how many years ago. But I rewatched it just recently, which is weird, and I saw how horrible the animation was back then. But it was like our first 3D type of TV show back then, and it was about basically computers.
Okay.
It was little
Is it like
figures.
a hacker type thing?
Yes, it was kind of like a hacker
Okay.
thing. The main character was
saw
blue.
that.
He was very.
Oh,
The
yes.
girl had the
Why
little
am I
short bob
blue?
haircut,
I remember that.
and he used to go reboot, and he would just.
And I remember how bad the 3D animation
It's
was.
horrible.
Oh my
I used
God.
to love this show as a kid, and I was sitting there looking at it like, oh my god, this is terrible.
Oh.
I'm still gonna watch it though.
Code Lyoko. Do you remember that Code Lyoko?
That one I
That
don't
old
remember.
Nick show. Nick, was it Nick? Cartoon Network, one of those.
I know
But-
we're running out of time.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine. We'll talk about it next time.
I mean, that show was just as bad as the terrible, whatchamacallit, Transformers. Wow, even the music was like, boom, I was upset. Yeah. Yeah. But all right, well, yeah, well, you know what? We'll do a whole show on that.
Yes, we should.
Yes.
All right, you guys are watching GeekCaster. Thank you so much for checking us out, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye, guys.